December 7, 1941, a day that would live in infamy. The morning sun was just beginning to rise over the calm waters of Pearl Harbor when, out of nowhere, hundreds of Japanese warplanes darkened the skies. Within minutes, explosions rocked the harbor. Battleships erupted into flames. Chaos, destruction, and death consumed what was supposed to be a peaceful Sunday morning. But why did Japan attack? Could the U.S. have seen it coming? And how did this single moment change the course of history forever? Let's dive into one of the most shocking attacks in American history, the day that forced the United States into World War II, the Rising Storm, before the attack. Before the attack on Pearl Harbor, tensions between the United States and Japan had been building for years. Japan's expansion in the Pacific by the late 1930s, Japan was expanding aggressively across Asia, invading China and capturing key territories. The U.S. saw this expansion as a direct threat to global stability, economic sanctions, and oil embargo. In response to Japan's aggression, the United States froze Japanese assets and cut off vital exports, including oil. With their fuel supplies running dangerously low, Japan had two choices: retreat or fight. Japan made its decision. And on December 7, 1941, they struck with devastating force. The attack on Pearl Harbor. The first wave, 7:55 a.m. Just before 8 a.m., the first wave of 183 Japanese warplanes appeared over Pearl Harbor. The attack was carefully planned. Torpedo bombers, dive bombers, and fighter planes all launched a coordinated assault. Battleships like the USS Arizona and USS Oklahoma were hit within minutes, exploding into flames. The second wave, 8:40 a.m. A second wave of 170 additional Japanese aircraft arrived to finish the job. Aircraft carriers, cruisers, and airfields were targeted, ensuring U.S. forces couldn't launch a counterattack. In just under 2 hours, over 2,400 Americans were killed. More than 300 aircraft were destroyed, and 21 U.S. Navy ships were damaged or sunk. The attack left Pearl Harbor in ruins, but more importantly, it awakened a sleeping giant. The aftermath. A nation at war, FDR's famous speech. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation, delivering his now famous words. Yesterday, December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The U.S. declares war on December 8, 1941. The U.S. officially declared war on Japan. Days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S., bringing America fully into World War II. How this changed the war. The attack united the American people like never before. Factories shifted to wartime production, the draft expanded, and millions enlisted to fight. The U.S. would soon launch counterattacks across the Pacific, leading to the eventual defeat of Japan in 1945. Pearl Harbor wasn't just an attack. It was a turning point that reshaped world history. Could Pearl Harbor have been prevented? Many controversies still surround the attack on Pearl Harbor. Could the U.S. have seen it coming? Intelligence reports hinted at a possible attack, but no one knew when or where. Japan used extreme secrecy and surprise tactics, ensuring the assault would be devastating. Were there conspiracies? Some historians argue that U.S. officials might have ignored warning signs to force America into the war. Others believe that Japan had no choice. Without resources, their only option was to strike first. The truth? We may never fully know. But one thing is certain: Pearl Harbor changed history forever. Lessons from Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor serves as a powerful reminder of the cost of war, the importance of vigilance, and the resilience of nations. It taught us that unpreparedness can be deadly. It showed the world that the U.S. could recover from devastation and emerge stronger. It marked the beginning of America's role as a global superpower. History repeats itself only if we fail to learn from it. The attack on Pearl Harbor was one of the most tragic yet defining moments in history. But there's still so much to uncover. What do you think? Could the attack have been prevented? Or was war inevitable? Let us know in the comments below. Enjoy history? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into world-changing events.